sound effects I used the other day. How long? Did that go back to Cincinnati Day, Central Michigan Day? When did you start doing kind of the odd ones?
We started doing that at Cincinnati.
How did y'all decide on what noises to use, and what made y'all decide to kind of start using some of these odder ones, like the baby crying, the jet engine, things like that?
We want it to be as annoying as possible. Again, we're trying to create an environment, a high-stress environment, a chaotic environment, and those noises cause some stress. Again, I have a daughter that just turned 2, a daughter that is about to turn 1, and 1 on the way. I hear baby crying, and it reminds me of home. I get to relax a little bit. But for these guys that aren't used to it, I think it creates a stress level to rise and just an added element of pressure.
Did you notice it made a difference in Cincinnati?
Oh, yes.
Did the team start responding better in those adverse situations?
Coach Jones always talks about developing a hard edge. We want a hard edge in everything we do. So we want, in pressure situations, our guys to feel that it's no sweat. And whatever pressure situations we can create, however we can create chaotic environments, that's what we're looking to do.
Is that why I walked in one day and Neil Diamond's Sweet Caroline was playing?
Perhaps. Are you talking in the weight room? I know Coach.
No, it was out here.
Right here. Yeah, just mixing it up, keeping our guys on their toes. We always want it to be a little bit unexpected.
Ronald Wayne, I didn't see him out there today. Any reason why he wasn't in practice today?
He wasn't practicing for disciplinary reasons.
Is that an ongoing thing or a one-day thing? I mean, do y'all expect to have him out there?
That's up to Coach Jones.
Okay.
As you look at the scrimmages and they start to accumulate through the spring, are these bigger fence posts than, say, practice? Is scrimmage 3 or 4 bigger than practice 12? Or is it just a gradual practice 12, practice 13 is a scrimmage?
To me, the scrimmages are more practice situations. If you notice, we're always going to have different periods where we're calling it up and just playing football, as we like to say, as opposed to every down being a third down or every down being a first down or being in the red zone for Skelly. So to me, a scrimmage is an extension of practice, and we're looking to execute all those things that we've installed in practice.
Have you liked the progress you've made this week, or do you kind of feel that you've had to pump the brakes a little bit?
We've slowed down a little bit, but I don't want that to be an indicator of not liking practice. I like the approach our guys take. They're always pushing. They want to satisfy. You know, they want to please, and they're working hard. If we need to put on the brakes to slow down, then that's fine. You know, that's not necessarily an indicator of dissatisfaction, but you know, that's the state where we are right now.
Coach, you referenced the Marlon not being out there. How much more difficult does that make your job? When I know he missed last Tuesday, and then he's not out there today. But he's a guy who's shown up well for you at times this spring. I mean, what does that do? How does that impact your job?
Again, for all positions, it's always, as a play caller, about putting guys in a position to make plays. And when you're substituting personnel as much as you are, shuffling in personnel as much as you are, that makes it a little bit harder. But that's spring ball more than anything else. That's getting a feel for who your guys are, who your playmakers are. So it's something that goes hand in hand with spring ball. I once heard a coach say, "Hey, I've never met a coach who's completely satisfied with where they are in spring football. If you are, then shoot, that's great, good for you." You know, but you're dealing with whether we've been in a system for a few years or whether we're new to the system. It's always a situation where you're developing young guys. You're a new team. We're Team 117. This is our first spring together as Team 117. Next spring will be our first spring together as Team 118 with new faces all over the field. So that's just the way it is. That's spring football.
So you feel like the staff's continuity and familiarity with one another allows you to better overcome a guy being gone?
Sure. And you know, when you get into game situations and you start to game plan a little bit more specifically to what the opponent is giving you, you start to refine the position, you just start to define the positions that you're going to put your players in a little bit more. You know, right now, our tight ends are all over the field. But we got to figure out what they do well and put them in a position to do that. And you know, part of that's right now just learning the system. But once we figure out and we're getting a good idea of what each guy's doing well, then we'll specifically put them in that